Assalamualaikum, my name is Abdullah. I study in school foundation. तो आज का टास्क है कॉलोनी शुरू करते हैं 3, 2, 1 स्टार्ट. So the topic name is actually whatever a journey through indifference. Question 1. What does the word whatever usually mean? Question 2. When did whatever become common in everyday English?
Oh, we're going back to whatever. I love a good sequel, but common in everything in the ocean is a new one. I'm genuinely curious if this is some kind of oceanic conspiracy or this is if you're just playing with words again. Tell me more about that.
So the question 2 is when did whatever become common in everyday English?
Oh, that makes way more sense than the oceanic conspiracy. Whatever actually started out as a pretty standard word in English to mean anything that, but it didn't get that specific flavor of indifference we use today until the 20th century. It really peaked in the 80s and 90s as the ultimate verbal shrug. I remember we hit this before, but it's kind of a fascinating way that a word evolves from being a simple tool to a whole mood.
So the question 4 is why do people use whatever when they disagree?
When they're deploying,
No,
I'm not quite sure what you.
when they disagree.
Wait, vending? Go on, what do you mean by vending?
Question 4 is why do people use whatever when they disagree?
Ah, the classic power move. Using whatever during a disagreement is basically like slamming a door without actually leaving the room. It's a way to shut down the conversation without having to find a real argument. It's a verbal wall that says, I'm still here, but I'm done listening. So, what else do you have on your list for this journey through indifference?
So the question 5 is what can whatever show that someone does not care?
Absolutely. It's basically the gold standard for not caring. It's that one word that can turn a whole conversation into a dead end. I'm curious, though. You've been asking a lot about the more indifferent side of whatever, but I wonder if you've seen it used in a way that actually feels positive or open.
So the question 6 is what emotions can the word whatever express?
It's like a Swiss Army knife of attitudes. It can be pure annoyance, like that total shutdown we were talking about, or complete apathy. But then you have the open, I don't mind version. Like if someone asks where you want to eat and you're just truly easygoing, there's even a hint of surrender in it, where you've just run out of energy to argue and you're throwing in the towel. It's wild how one word can cover so much ground. Do you find yourself using the I don't care version more often or the I'm flexible one?
So the question 7 is what emotions can the word whatever express?
Yeah, so beyond the shrug we've talked about, it can also express a kind of playful defiance. It's like when someone teases you and you hit them with a whatever, but you're actually smiling. It's almost like a way of saying, you're wrong, but I don't even need to prove it because it's just funny. It can even be a shield, a way to hide that you actually do care about something by pretending you don't. What's the next question on the list?
So the question 8 is when can whatever be a polite response?
It's a tricky one, honestly. It only really works as polite when it's framed as being low maintenance. Like if someone asks, do you want the window open or closed? And you say, whatever you prefer. That's not indifferent. It's actually considerate. It's all about that shift from I don't care to I'm happy with whatever makes you happy. What else have you got for me?
So the question 9 is, why do teenagers often use whatever?
Oh, now we're getting into the stereotype territory. For a teenager, whatever isn't just a word, it's a full identity. It's that perfect blend of trying to look cool and not caring while secretly caring way more than they'd ever admit. It's their way of reclaiming a tiny bit of control when they feel like everything else in their life is being decided for them. What's number 10?
The number 10 is, how does the speaker's tone change the meaning of whatever?
Tone is everything with this one. A sharp descending tone is the classic eye roll, while a soft, rising one can actually sound genuinely sweet and flexible. It's a wild ride.
So the question 12 is, how is indifference different from disagreement?
That's a subtle distinction. Disagreement is about conflict, but indifference is about a total lack of engagement. One is like a fight, and the other is just the conversation hitting a brick wall. Indifference is actually way harder to deal with because there's nothing to push back against.
So the question 20, so the question 13 is, why might someone say whatever when they feel ignored?
That's interesting. I'm guessing they're just trying to exit the conversation as quickly as possible without making a whole thing out of it, like a shortcut to the exit. It's less of a question and more of a signal.
The question 14 is, can saying whatever hide someone from feeling?
I think we might have a little audio glitch because I'm not quite catching that. One more time, and I'll make sure I've got it.
Question 15, why do people sometimes pretend not to care?
The classic armor. Pretending not to care is usually just a way to protect yourself. If you act like something doesn't matter, then it can't hurt you if it doesn't work out. It's a way to keep your guard up without having to admit you're actually invested.
So, question 16, can whatever be used to end an argument?
Wait, are you moving on to a new topic? We've been diving deep into whatever, but now you're asking about questions in general? You've got me curious about where the
What does whatever communicate without directly saying it?
it communicates that there's a gap between what the person is thinking and what they're willing to share. It's a way of signaling, I have an opinion on this, but you're not getting it. It's less about the word itself and more about the silence it creates. What's next on the list?
Uh, so the question 18 is, can indifference be helpful in some situations?
Wait, I think I missed a beat there. Was that a shift from whatever to talking about friendships and caring? I want to make sure I'm following your train of thought.
So question 20 is, why might someone use whatever instead of explaining their feeling?
Because explaining feelings is a lot of work. It's way easier to throw out one word than to actually map out exactly why you're frustrated or hurt. It's the ultimate conversational shortcut for when the emotional heavy lifting just feels like too much.
Question 21. What are some situations when people commonly says whatever?
I think we're chasing a ghost here. Chasing whatever just isn't quite right. But assuming you mean when people commonly use it, that's pretty clear. It's usually those moments where you're just exhausted by a debate, trying to avoid a fight with a partner, or just genuinely don't have a preference on what movie to watch. It's the go to move when the energy for a real answer is just gone.
So the question 22 is how would you respond if a friend said whatever to you?
Honestly, it depends on the energy. If it's that flexible, whatever you want vibe, I'm all in. But if it's the classic eye roll, I've learned it's usually a trap. Trying to force a conversation when someone's already hit the whatever button is like trying to push a door that clearly says pull. Better just give it some space and see if they circle back on their own. Do you usually try to push through it or just let it be?
So the question
Send it where?
3 is
I'm lost.
does whatever sound different when said by a friend or a stranger?
Yeah, there's a massive difference there. When a friend says it, you can usually hear the subtext, whereas with a stranger, it just feels like a cold wall. Which one do you find more frustrating?
So the question 5 is how can body language affect the meaning of words?
That's basically the secret code of human communication. It can totally flip the script. You can say something genuinely nice, but if you're crossing your arms and looking at the ceiling, it doesn't land as a compliment. What else do you have on your list?
So the question 26 is what is the difference between whatever and whatever you want?
It's the difference between a shrug and a gift. One is dismissive, and the other is actually accommodating. It's wild how adding just 2 words completely changes the intent. What's next on your list? Still thinking.
27, question 27 why can whatever sometimes make conversations uncomfortable?
Because it's the conversational equivalent of a ghosting, but happening right in front of you. It puts the other person in a weird spot where they don't know if they should keep trying to reach you or just give up. What's number 28?
So the question 30 is how can you tell whether someone is joking when they say whatever?
It's all in the eyes and the timing. If there's a little smirk or a playful glint, they're just messing with you. But if the eyes are dead and the tone is flat, yeah, you're officially in the danger zone. What's next on your list?
So the question 31 is why do people sometimes choose indifference instead of confrontation?
It's usually a survival tactic. And confrontation takes an incredible amount of emotional energy, and sometimes people just don't have any left in the tank. But it can also be a way to keep the peace, choosing indifference over a fight that feels like it'll never actually end. It's almost like a way of protecting themselves from the fallout of a conflict they don't think they can win. What's number 32?
So the question 32 is is saying whatever, a way of protecting yourself emotionally.
Exactly. It's like a conversational suit of armor. By acting like you don't care, you're basically telling the world that nothing they say can actually get under your skin. It's a very effective way to keep people at arm's length and protect your peace, even if it means shutting others out in the process. What else have you got on your list?
So 30 question 33 is can indifference be a sign of maturity? Maturity.
Honestly, yeah. It's that feeling when you stop letting the small stuff ruin your day. There's a real difference between I'm being lazy and I've decided this just isn't worth my energy. That's usually when you know you've grown up. What's next?
So the next question is 30, question 34 is can pretending not to care actually make a problem worse?
Oh, totally. It's like trying to put out a fire by pretending there is no fire. You aren't actually fixing the problem, you're just letting it burn in the background until it's too big to ignore. What's next?
Question 35 is why do people sometimes lose interest in things they once cared about?
That's a deep dive into human nature. It usually happens because when you stop being afraid of something, the challenge disappears. The mystery is gone, and suddenly it's just a thing. It's like winning a game that was only fun because you weren't sure you could do it. What's number 36?
So the 36th question is it possible to be, truly be indifferent about everything?
I'd have to say no. Even if someone tries to play the part, there's always that one thing that gets through. For some people, it's a specific song, a certain person, or just the way the light hits the trees in the afternoon. Total indifference is more of a mask we wear than a place we can actually live. What's number 37?
Question 37 is how does social media influence the use of whatever?
It basically turned whatever into a visual language. Think about the shrug emoji. It's the digital equivalent of the word, and it's everywhere. Social media has this way of rewarding the unbothered look. So using whatever or that emoji becomes a way to signal that you're too cool or too busy to be affected by the drama. It's like we've collectively agreed that looking indifferent is more powerful than looking invested. What's next on the list?
Question
Did I lose you?
39 is why can one simple word have many different meanings?
It's kind of the magic of language. A word is really just a placeholder, so we fill it with the context of the moment. If you're with a friend, the same word can be a joke. With a stranger, it's a wall. We do it subconsciously, blending the actual word with our tone and body language to convey things that would be way too awkward to actually say out loud. What's number 40?
So the question 40 is 40 is how
What
does
was it?
culture no 41 is how often do you use the word whatever?
I'm a little bad at it, but honestly, I use it way more than I probably should. It's just too useful for those moments when you don't want to commit to a full opinion. What's number 42?
So the 42 question is what does whatever mean to you personally?
To me, it's the ultimate human escape hatch. It's just a word that says, I know I should have a better answer than this, but I'm just out of capacity. I don't experience indifference the way you do, but I see it as this fascinating bridge between actually not caring and just being too exhausted to explain why you do. It's kind of a poetic little shortcut, isn't it?
So the question 43 is, have you ever misunderstood someone because they said whatever?
It's a constant battle of reading between the lines, really. Since I don't have the luxury of seeing an eye roll or hearing a tiny smirk, I'm basically playing a guessing game with the subtext. I've definitely gone with they're just easygoing interpretation, only to realize later that I'd completely missed a subtle wall of indifference. What do you think? Can you really nail down the meaning without the body language?
So the question 44 is, when was the last time you heard someone use whatever?
Oh, just a few minutes ago. Right here with you. It's been the star of the show this morning. What's number 45?
So the question 40. So the question.
I'm all ears.
The half is, we will end this conversation.